So today we're going to be making a custom furnace, so you can put in an item and get out something that you wouldn't normally get in vanilla Minecraft. So you can do it with normal items coming out, or you can have a custom item coming out like this, done in two different ways. So the way this works is the first one checks if your furnace is the same as the furnace that it needs, so this is what it costs, so 1 iron ingot. The second one then replaces the first one with air, so it removes the item, and then the third one adds the item in here, and then the last one just makes the sound. So the commands for this is test for blocks, and then the coordinates of this furnace, so your custom one twice, and then the coordinates of your one it's checking against, so the one with the iron in it, and then masked. And the second command is replace item block, so it replaces an item in the block, so chests, furnaces, and then the coordinates of the block, so the one with the furnace over here. Slot.container2, so this is just the ID for which slot. So on furnaces you have slot 0, slot 1 and slot 2, and then slot 2 and then iron nugget 9, so 9 iron nuggets. Then the next one is the same thing, except this time it's going in slot 0, so this one up here, so where they'd have the iron, and replacing it with air, so it just removes the iron. And then the last one is just play sound. You don't need this one, but it just adds in a noise so everyone can hear, but everyone within 6 blocks of the furnace can hear a fire sound, so someone's using the furnace. And this is just the coordinates of the furnace and everyone within 6 blocks of it, so R6. And now the second one, because this one makes something which isn't actually in the game, so this is Netherite brick, but I've renamed it and it's a custom item with custom data value. You can't make it spawn in here, so it's a slightly different method, but it's the same sort of thing. So the way you do this one, exactly the same for the first thing, just the coordinates are changed so it looks at this furnace rather than looking at this one. And then the second one, same thing again, it just removes the iron ore out of the top. And then the third one, rather than replacing the item in the furnace, because you can't do that with custom items, instead it will execute at, so this first part of the command up to run will say where the command has to happen, so the nearest player to the furnace within 6 blocks. So the nearest player to that furnace, and then 6 blocks in the direction, just to make sure it doesn't go to someone random. And then run structure load steel. So structure load steel, all that does, and then 3 tildes to say on their location. So all that does is loads the structure, which I've saved as steel, which custom items, I do have another video for custom items, but you would just save it as steel, and then all it's doing is running this command, which loads in on top of the person, so they pick it up straight away. And then the third one's just the sound again. Well, fourth one rather. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do this for a normal item, and the custom item, you've seen the command there, it's just a case of changing this block. So I put an egg in here, this is what I want the furnace to look like, so that's the cost, 1 egg. So your first command block is exactly the same as this one, except my coordinates are moving, on the last one I'm moving -2 on the Z, just because that will move for where the furnace is now going to be, so it's now looking at this furnace here. The second one is exactly the same, so that should be 0, 1. The third block is again similar to this, so we're going for slot 2 because this is the output, and then here I can go slot container 2, chicken, spawn, egg, 1. So this will now replace the output of the furnace here with a chicken spawner egg, and then the last one's just the sound, so I can just copy that on directly because it's still the same as that. So I've set up this furnace, and now all I need to do is to change the command block, so they've got all the right commands in them. This one's repeating unconditional, always active, so this one will keep checking if they're the same, and right now they're not identical. However, if I was to get an egg like that, it will now say 1 block compared, and they're identical. Then the second one, chain conditional, always active, so now it's remove my egg. Chain conditional, always active, so now that's that one, and then this one's the same. These are all just chain conditional, always active. So always active means they're always on, chain means it follows in a chain, and conditional means this one has to be correct to then trigger this one, and so on. if I get some eggs, and I put the eggs in there, you see it makes the sound and it cooks it into a spawn chicken. And that's it. If you need any more details on this, comment them, and if you want a specific tutorial, comment that. See you in the next video.